What's up, guys? It's your boy Jay coming back again with another Super Bowl prediction. And this time it's going to be Super Bowl 57. Got my boys Jericho, Frankly, with me tonight.
Yeah, what up?
It was good.
If you are an Alec fan, he is off for the night. He'll be back next week when we have the pregame show for the Super Bowl for the Alec fans out there.
Finch.
Mr. Alec Finch.
Yeah, all the Thai fanatics are upset right now, but he'll be back.
All right, before we get started, guys, make sure you smash that thumbs up. It is much appreciated. If you are new here, of course, subscribe, turn on your notifications so you can get access to streams, content, news, just like this. Okay, we were actually having a great conversation about Tom Brady before we went live. We're going to keep this going. As you may know, or if you don't know, Tom Brady has retired for the second time officially, and he has been given, or he signed, a contract with Fox for $375 million over 10 years to be a commentator. So there is no bonus on the contract. It's just a flat 10 years of $37 million. The big topic that we were talking about was whether or not he was going to be not only just great at it, but actually be personable, be funny, and make it engaging and entertaining as a commentator. So that's where we're at.
I don't see it happening. Have you ever seen Tom Brady go on the field? Number one, Tom never makes mistakes. Tom can throw the ball right to the ground. It's your fault because you should have done through the ground that ball. And you ever see his face, how upset and mad he is all the time? So now translate that to being a commentator. Like, I just don't see it. I love Tom Brady as a football player. I just can't see him being a commentator. I put him in the boat of like a Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan. I don't see those guys, Derek Jeter, being owners of something or team, but not being a commentator. I just can't see him being a commentator, me personally.
Yeah, when you put it like that, man, comparing him to those other guys, I think I agree with that. Because even when times were good, when he was in New England, winning the Super Bowl like every other year, great times. There are franchises that would sacrifice, and they probably cut off their pinky to get a taste of that, man, to go to the Super Bowl as many times as they did. So even during the good times, the quote unquote good times, it wasn't good times because, Belichick was there. He didn't, I'm sure that was one of the more least fun locker rooms in the NFL. You could see in the press conferences, stuff usually didn't get leaked. He ran a real tight ship. So even in the good times, he didn't get to have a lot of fun. So fast forward to Tampa with a lesser team and definitely a lesser coach, there's going to be even less good times. In a place where he could let loose. You brought us a ring. Even if he didn't, you're Tom Brady. You can come up here and act a fool if you want to. But he gave us a ring the first year. Man, you got the keys to the city. So even then, you didn't see him really cutting up, having a good time. He kept that line firm between quarterback and everybody else. So is he keeping a jewel away from us, a gem, as far as being on TV and stuff? I don't know. But based on what we've seen and the Brady we've had countless times behind the podium, I don't know, man. And like we were saying earlier, are they willing to eat this money? Like, is there something in the contract that says if the ratings don't reach a certain level, we're going to let you go? Because what if it doesn't work? Look at Gronk.
Let me hop in real quick. So Coach said, I think Brady will be good at it. I think he is personable enough. I think he jokes with Gronk. Cole, Coach plays. Hop on the panel, bro. I got the link up there for you. Go ahead and turn on that camera, turn on that mic, and come on the show. I've been waiting for you, bro. There is no excuse. There is no excuse. You commented. You in front of that computer. Go ahead and turn on that mic, turn on that phone, click that link, and hop on the panel. It's been a long time coming. History in the making.
Dang, the offer has been extended.
Let's go. Coach plays. It's been time to get you on, man. But piggybacking on what Jericho was saying, the money's going to be a big factor as far as, whether or not he's bringing the views in, whether or not people are, say that they like him being a commentator, him being an analyst, whether or not he's able to resonate more so on the lines of being personable with the average football player. Because think about it, these analysts are basically calling out the plays and they're trying to differentiate from being too over the top, but also being knowledgeable about the game and giving the info that they need to when it comes to commentating about whatever they're talking about, whether it's basketball, football, whatever. The thing about it is, just like we said earlier, I think Tom Brady will be super analytical. I think he will probably bring more to the game than most people will, but it may be over the top. It may be over the top. It may become too much. And we'll see, though. They made some, hey, you got to dial it back a little bit. Who knows? We'll see.
I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. Oh,
what if he's good, but we don't like it? Because that's not the Brady we're used to seeing since 2001. What if maybe it'll take time. Maybe it'll grow on people, and he'll become great at that too. And be like, damn, can he do nothing wrong? He's great at this too? But I hope so. I mean, it'd be great to have such a knowledgeable mind commentating on the game. Bringing something, bringing an angle we've never seen, and because no one's ever done it at that level. I mean, you could probably put multiple NFL game day panels together, and they don't have as many rings as he has on his own two hands.
Oh, 100%.
So yeah, 100%. We've never seen it, from somebody at this level. But does he have the ability to cross over? Because he's going to put in the study time, he's going to put in the work. Is that going to translate? And I'm sure Brady, he's probably not used to being nervous. He ain't been nervous in 20 years.
It's different. This is a different aspect of his life now. And it was a funny quote that Mark, I don't know if you guys seen it, Mark Sanchez, which is now an analyst now, he put a quote out, oh my goodness, it was something to the point where it's like, oh my goodness, he's like, yo, this guy keeps chasing, like, he ended my career as a football player because they were in the same division in the Jets, and now he's gonna end my analyst career, my young analyst career. He was playing around, but the funny thing about jokes, they all have truth to it. That's what makes it funny.
Yeah,
and I think he is worried about his job because you got seven Super Bowls.
Sure does.
Yep,
seven. He's already filled up one hand.
23 years in the game, $3 million just from his. That's a lot of competition right there. I wouldn't want that competition.
So
I take that back. I take that back, guys. When I said that he hasn't been nervous in 20 years, there was a time very recently when he was nervous. The first night he tried to fall asleep with Antonio Brown in his house. He was very nervous. See, that's probably the last time he was extremely nervous.
Yo.
Yeah, Mr. CTE.
So,
yeah, he was doing a lot of staring at the ceiling that night.
So I think we should go ahead and we should go ahead and play this. Let me pull this up so people know what we're talking about in regards to the CTE comment from Mr. Antonio Brown, which is just crazy. But let me go ahead and pull this up.
Always something.
Always something. But here we go. We're gonna pull this up. Mr. Antonio Brown himself. Make sure the volume is up so they can hear this. When did he say this, Franklin? How recent was it?
It was 2 days ago. This was actually did a live stream saying this. People
so okay, during a live stream, he had name dropped James Harrison, and this is what he had to say.
I think
got shot, man.
So now he has CTE?
Like, come on, man. Like, it's just so ridiculous. Like I said before, every month there is a new Antonio Brown story. Literally, you can go back every month where he's either done something crazy or said something crazy, and he might be right. He may have CTE, but it's you're gonna blame it on one person. You're gonna blame your CTE on James Harrison. Really?
No.
How do you trace it to that moment?
Like, it's that one play, right? That one play or whatever it was. He had a unapproved helmet, unsanctioned helmet, and that is exactly why I have CTE, because of James Harrison. Not anything else. Not anything else that happened.
No,
it's gonna be him.
James Harrison's fault that I exposed myself in Dubai.
Hold on. I got some now. Antonio Brown's from the hood. all know from the hood. Snitching. James Harrison's a big dude, dog. Like I wouldn't. Yeah. James Harrison now, what is it? 45 years old, 40.
Frankly, you got some connection issues, bro. Just a little bit. Yeah, just a little bit. I can hear. Yeah, I can hear you.
I'm gonna let y'all talk. Let me see if I can fix this. Sorry about that.
All right. Shout out to Coach Place for being in the building. My man Cole coming through. Let's go. It's been a long time coming. He is also a sports content creator. He streams NFL, NBA. He does also news clips and everything. Great guy. Love him. Been trying to get him on the show for a while. Finally here. What's up, Cole? What's up, Coach?
What's up, Jay? What's up, Jericho? What's up, Franklin? Appreciate you guys having me. I saw the notification come across. I said, I got to get in this party. And then when I got the invitation, I was like, all right, I'm going upstairs. So let's get to it.
There it is. So, yeah, we just been talking about Antonio Brown for this point. Recently said that James Harrison is the reason why he has CTE. And I don't know if you caught the clip, but I can play it again for you if you didn't hear it.
I did not catch the clip.
All right, I'll play the clip for you one more time.
Enjoy.
Rewind.
Yeah, we're gonna rewind it. All right, here we go.
So there you go. Sounds like an scapegoat there. Hey, if there's any truth to that, then James Harrison gave a lot of people CTE because he was busting heads for his whole career.
For 20 years, right? So everybody he hit has got to have CTE.
Didn't Antonio Brown one of the ones who like refused to change his helmet even though it was supposedly like out of date? So maybe that had something to do with him getting any sort of concussions. But Antonio Brown is crazy because he's just crazy. It has nothing to do with any hits to the head. I'm sure it didn't help. But here's the thing. I've talked about this with my buddies before, but it's like what Tomlin did for so long, keeping Antonio Brown wrapped up, might be the most impressive thing Tomlin's ever done. And he's one heck of a coach. Because when it finally started stirring, I think where like Antonio Brown was like recording something in the locker room, like that was his last season in Pittsburgh, and then it just unraveled. How in the world did Mike Tomlin keep Antonio Brown quiet for as many years as he did? That's probably Tomlin's best coaching success he's ever had in his career.
No, I'll definitely agree with that. The fact that Tomlin was able to keep him under wraps and keep him under control. It may have been a respect thing, right? He may have had much respect for Tomlin. He may have had a different level of respect for that group he was with. They had chemistry. I think Ben Roethlisberger was another big factor as far as keeping him under control too. But you're right. After he left, he just spiraled. Raiders, Patriots.
Oh man, the feet, hot feet. That's a good point. That was a good point, man. Bringing up the respect he had for Tomlin, because Tomlin was a receiver, a good one in college. So maybe same position. He saw how hard he worked and how serious he took it. I think it have to be something like that, something where he connected mentally with Antonio Brown to keep him under control. But it's classic. I go out here, I do all kinds of crazy stuff, and then now I'm the victim. It's not my fault. Somebody hit me in the head 15 years ago, and that's what did it. And so, he retreats to, it's not my fault. I'm just a victim. It was James Harrison. And, it's not like James Harrison's going to do something to him, but this dude is so nuts and he don't care so much. He's just going to throw a name out there. It don't matter. It's his fault. And I wouldn't be surprised, if now we have some kind of black and white PSA. I was hit by James Harrison. I was hit by James Harrison. You know what I mean? Like, come on. James Harrison, he played in a different time. The stuff he did, you couldn't get away with right now. It was still a gladiator sport back then. And, but this is classic Antonio Brown, classic childish, petulant behavior. It's just like a kid. It's not my fault. We don't fault kids. If a 5-year-old pees the bed, oh, sorry, buddy. Hey, let's change your sheets, get you cleaned up. If a 25-year-old pees the bed, man, you're disgusting. Get out of here. So it's how you treat children. and it's not his fault. Somebody is going to latch on to this. Somebody is going to support this theory. Somebody is going to give this validity, and he knows it.
Shout out to Timo, says donate 15 cents to help these victims hit by James Harrison.
In the arms of the angel.
It's very tough because when we get on these topics, it is very sensitive. So, right? Some people out there right now is feeling triggered by it, and that's just the reality. If that's the case, everybody that was hit by Troy Polamalu should come forward right now. Everybody, because that man was dangerous. That man was a weapon on the field.
James Taylor.
And I'm pretty sure there's some people out there that are thinking about
Dante Whitner. I think what's his name? Pierre Thomas from the Saints would like to have a commercial cut for what Dante Whitner did to him in that playoff game. I mean, my goodness, they would have drawn and quartered him on the field if he did that in 2022.
Anybody who was in path of Lawrence Taylor, Ray Lewis, just they should all be getting medically checked right now.
Yeah, any one of those guys, right? Because at the end of the day, I mean, even if you go back to who was that, like Junior Seau, right?
Yeah. Yep.
All the hits that he was taking, which unfortunately may have led to his demise, but they went and studied his brain, and then they basically said what they found, and a lot of it had to do with the injuries that these people had sustained on the field. So I get it, but at the same time, one person is not going to give that to you. That's repetition, that's overtime, and it's really unfortunate. With that said, we're not going to give Antonio Brown all of our time here. No. We're gonna go ahead and try to keep this a little bit on the positive, bright side. Other news: people are wondering where Derek Carr is going to go. A lot of people have been saying Titans. I don't know why, or Green Bay. But shout out to Cole because my man Coach Plays is a Titans fan. I want to know how you'd feel about that if Carr was going to come there.
Wow.
I would take Carr. I think he's an upgrade over Tannehill, but I would not take him on that contract. And so I do not see any way he goes to the Tennessee Titans if it's a trade, because you would have to trade compensation, picks, and take that contract. The only way I think the Titans would potentially be in play is if they cut him and he's a free agent. But there's just no way. They're already in a big contract with Tannehill that they're going to have to make a decision on if they want to cut. They could keep him and pay him $40 million, or they could cut him and lose $18 million in the cap. But also they would save $18 million in the cap. Yeah. So they've got a decision there, but I don't foresee them just putting themselves in the same salary cap situation for a Derek Carr, who I do think is better than Tannehill, but maybe not a whole lot better. So I like Carr, but not under that contract. And unfortunately, I think that's going to be a lot of teams right now. He's probably going to have to restructure that.
Well, they did just approve another $16 million of cap space for all the teams in the NFL. So I'm sure that's not a lot of money according to NFL standards, but
yeah, it helps.
It does help. It does help.
Yeah, because with a quarterback like Carr who likes to throw, that's going to open up that running game even more for Derrick Henry, and that dude, he is ridiculous. So give him a good. I think Carr is a good quarterback. Take my hate for the Raiders out of it. He's a good quarterback, and he's one of those guys who you'd like to see in a really good system with a really good team with some consistency and not 20 different coaches and 20 different offensive coordinators. If he had a good chance, I think he could really do something good. And Tennessee might be that. It might be that spot if they can get the numbers right. And I think they'll try because, like you said, Carr is a definite upgrade from Tannehill. He's pretty tough. He don't get hurt a lot. Yeah, I think he's a better, more accurate, bigger arm. And to have them fearing that running game and to back people off of that box, and Derrick Henry gets to going. If he gets a running start, nobody's going to tackle him. They would have to convert defensive linemen to be defensive backs to tackle this dude. Nobody wants any parts of a full steam Derrick Henry. So that could be an acquisition to look out for.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Next up, Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson We've had this conversation before, me and Franklin. Franklin, what do you think? What do you think about Lamar? What do you think is going to happen with this contract? Do you think he's going to get the money that he deserves from the Ravens, or do you think he gets it from somewhere else?
At this point, you got to go somewhere else. He's not going to get it from the Ravens anymore, especially after him getting hurt. He held out, and the funny thing about this whole situation is they offered him something before, which he did not. He says, "No, I want more." Now they threw it in his face again. But the money he wants, I don't think he has enough hardware. But granted, he had the MVP the 1 year, but he hasn't done enough for me to warrant. And Baltimore's a wrong team to get the money he wants. Baltimore has never been historically going to pay you a lot of money. They're not. No. They're not a team that's going to pay a ton of money for a quarterback. So therefore, you're going to have to take your talents to South Beach like LeBron James and go out and go somewhere else. But without having a true free agent, because again, gentlemen, a lot of businesses made outside of the system, like it's made on the golf course, it's made in other places, and you have to have relationships with other people to get those big contracts. His mother doesn't have the stats for everybody in these huge contracts. She doesn't. She doesn't have the relationships with people. So he's not going, in my opinion, he's not going to get the money. And I know the NFL really doesn't have anything to do with this per se, but the NFL doesn't want players to present themselves. Because if you do that, then you screw up the whole system they have. If every player represents themselves, then you screw up. The whole system is messed up.
Well, yeah, a lot of the players. Well, I mean, I probably could say 99% of the players really don't have an understanding as far as how contracts go. There's a lot of paperwork. There's a lot of black and white. There's a lot of fine print that they need lawyers to look over. They need the arbitrators to look over, agents, all that kind of stuff. So the players are essentially designed to play, right? That's why they have those people in order. The thing about it is, and we had this conversation before, so I was reading a story earlier. Jalen Hurts has an all-female team. Is from his agent to his manager to his communications. It was really interesting to me when I seen this, not because they're females, for somebody tries to cancel me, but it was really interesting because it was the first time I ever seen it. I didn't know it. So I'm like, wow. I'm like, okay. And I went and looked at the resume of the women that he had on his team, and they had a long history in business and management and things like that. So I get why he chose that. But as far as for like Lamar, him having his mom is kind of like, hey, I want my mom who's gonna, basically make sure that this is the best situation for me, or she's gonna have my best interests, so maybe she can work out the best deal for me. Unfortunately, I don't see that being a thing because she just doesn't have the knowledge or the history of the sports, of being a sports agent, and can cut those deals that need to be made, especially with the Ravens, which is a hard team because they don't want to pay their quarterback a ton of money. It's just the reality of it.
Yeah, it's definitely a worst case scenario for him. And does he deserve more money? As Franklin said, your best ability is your availability. And that, that MVP season he had where he put that spin move and they played the Bengals, he earned it. That was a great season. But that season wasn't as long as it's supposed to be. And he's getting hurt. He's not big enough, man. He's a small dude. He's gotten bigger. But he just don't have the toughness for it, man. He just doesn't. And again, with these running quarterbacks, I hate to say it, but they don't have longevity. He needs to develop more of a pocket presence. And also, he's in a tough situation. He put himself there, but his younger, inexperienced self put him there, having his mom as his manager, and the emotions tied to it. And who knows if that was even his decision. She could have talked him into it or guilted him into it, but now he has to have a real conversation with her and play the game, so to speak, for lack of a better term. He needs to play the game, get a real agent who has real relationships that can make real stuff happen. You don't want to not reach your full potential because you didn't want to make your mama and them mad. You know what I mean? That's ridiculous. You got to grow up, man. You got to have that conversation. Mom, you got me started. I appreciate it, but I'm trying to make this big money because teams will pay. Teams will pay, but this is a business. So if you if your mom goes into the boardroom, so to speak, and they already know, they know more than she does, they could throw her some low-ass price or a contract that's, man, it's way better than what we've had before, but it's not what you should have. Yeah. Mom needs to be on the sidelines wearing a Lamar jersey cheering, and that's it.
And I was going to say, too, like, think about it. When he turned down that original contract because it wasn't that much money, who was that, him saying that, or was that his mom? Those are the kind of questions that you're going to have at the end of the day.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I'm looking this up. Lamar Jackson, this was reported by Adam Schefter, September 2022. Lamar Jackson turned down a contract from the Ravens that is believed to be up to $250 million. You look at Russell Wilson signed a $242 million deal, Watson, a $230 million deal. So he would have had a contract that was higher than that. And you also have to think about this if you're Lamar Jackson. The type of style of play that he plays this game is like a running back, and running backs do not have that long of a shelf life in this game. So, like,
4 years,
$250 million. Like, I'm at the point where I really can't feel sorry for Lamar Jackson because you know the type of quarterback you are. They gave you you had this huge contract and it wasn't good enough for you. And you see many times like players bet on themselves and then they get big. They get the big contract after that. But they play a different style. Like, you had to know the way you play this game, you're risking your body, but it's the only way he knows how to play this game. And then y'all said it. It's like, can he get a bigger contract? And while, yes, he's got the MVP, but he's had multiple failures in the postseason because of, at the end of the day, you're going to have that 3rd and 9 where you're going to need to stand in the pocket and deliver a ball in between two defenders. And he hasn't quite shown that. And that's why they haven't been able to maybe not quite get over that leap. I'm not saying that he can't, but it's like, if I'm the Ravens, now you just had this injury, you spit in our face over a $250 million contract. Like, I unfortunately, I don't ever see him signing a contract for now 250. He may have to settle for I don't know, but it's just, he should have took that deal. Yeah. So at that point, I can't feel sorry for the guy.
No, I agree. I mean, if we had to estimate, right, he'd probably be looking at maybe 100 to 150. Yeah. And I'm sure that's after some restructuring happens and they move some pieces around and, they look back at the cap. But that's probably what he's looking at now, which I think is realistic.
And that out of that $250 million contract, I guarantee you 150 of it was guaranteed.
Easy.
So cut that in half.
Yeah, exactly.
Cut that in half with $150 million. He's and who knows, that could have been, I mean, I know our football minds want to tell us that it was a struggle between his mom and the team. It was probably as simple as his mom saying, baby, you're better than that. They're not paying you what you're worth, and gassing him up, and now you're passing by money. Bro, if he would have stayed healthy and balled out this season, now you got some capital. Now you can say, look what I did again. I got us to here, or I got us to there. All right, Lamar, sit down, tell your mom to come. All right. But now you turned your nose up to that and you got hurt. They can't get rid of him and his mom fast enough. They will dump them off on another team as quick as they can, because you might have, and again, like you said, restructuring. Okay, so now you have Lamar, but now you have a lesser squad. Now you don't have the targets he had to throw to. Now he has to lean on his running ability even more. So he blew it. He's going to have to pretty much start from scratch with someone else.
And the Ravens are probably like the professor off of Waterboy. What's the movie? Yeah, just Waterboy. Well, Mama's wrong again. No, Colonel Sanders, Mama right.
You're wrong, Colonel Sanders.
Right. Quick shout out to Chris Madsen, who says, Jay Reason, who has had a better year in 2023, Russell or Deshaun? Ooh. I'd say even though Deshaun came in late because of the issues that he had, I'd have to probably give it to Deshaun.
Yep.
I'd have to.
I'm going to go with Russell Wilson, and the only reason why is that trade they made Sean Payton. That's unheard of, really, guys. I mean, I know he's still under contract, but Sean Payton is not going to be the Denver quarterback. Coach. And they had to trade away a first-round draft pick and a second-round draft pick to pick him up. I think the team now changes because Drew Brees is Russell Wilson. Well, they're not big quarterbacks.
I would agree with that. Maybe we'll see next year, but I think last season we got to give it to Deshaun on that one.
Man, Russell, here you go, Russell. Here's some more pressure. Here's some more pressure for you and Mr. Unlimited to deal with. Now he's just under more pressure. Now you got a good coach. Now you better perform. Whatever you and Sierra got going on, and what's his name?
That's right.
No, the dude she had the baby with.
Oh, Future.
Future keeps leaving messages on the answer machine all night long. Now you got to deal with that too and perform, because now what's your excuse? Now you got the offensive mastermind, the Drew Brees, like you said, both undersized quarterbacks. So now in everybody's mind, this is going to work. It's going to. Russell Wilson, undersized, Drew Brees, same coach, same kind of situation. Denver's on the downside. So is New Orleans. This will happen. So now that everybody has that in their mind, now it better. Because if not, here come the boo birds. Here come the, well, Russell Wilson, his career isn't over. We gave him Sean Payton. This is a nightmare. And I love it because I'm a Niner fan. We know where Russell spent most of his career. So this is beautiful. I'm going to sit back. I'm going to stuff the napkin in here because I don't have no class. And I'm going to enjoy this.
If I'm a Broncos fan, and real quick, Chris, I see that silver play button in the award in the back, man. Big congrats to you, man, dude. That's awesome seeing it sitting back there. As a Broncos fan, I'm just going to go out on a limb and say that I think this is not going to work out for the Broncos. If I was a Bronco fan, I don't think I would be comfortable them giving up so many picks for a head coach. I don't care even if it's someone who is Sean Payton. Sean Payton won one Super Bowl in 10 or 12 years as a head coach for the Saints. I don't know, whatever it was. I just think that is way too much capital. I don't even know. You could say the best coach out there, whether it's Tomlin or whoever it is. I don't think I'm willing to give up 2 or 3 first-round picks, because now he's got to come in there and build a team without any first-round picks. I think I would have just went a different route, got a good quality head coach or someone up and coming, and build it with those picks. I don't know. I think give me Deshaun Watson next year. I don't know.
Oh,
for sure.
All right, so we got a new visitor. We got Carter. What's up, Carter? Got something to add, sir?
Mr. Carter.
All right, he's out of here.
Hey, that was it. That's all he wanted to
That
add.
was it. All right, he's
I'm
like,
out.
I just want to have my name said. Thanks. All right, shout out to you.
In and out like a shout.
And Deshaun Watson's in a much better position, man. He's in a much better position, a better team, and less pressure. He has some pressure, but much less than Russell Wilson's about to have, and Sean Payton. So those first, week 3, we're 1 and 2. It's falling apart quick.
Easier division too. I don't know. They're two tough divisions, but
the Chiefs, Chargers, they don't know who they are yet, and the Raiders, especially when they lose Carr. Oh man, chicken with the head cut off. I love it because I hate the Raiders.
All right, so before we keep talking about Russell Wilson, and I say something that I shouldn't say, looking at you, Tony Romo. Let's get into these Kansas City Chiefs and these Philadelphia Eagles.
I wish you would have said it. That would have been hilarious.
Let's go ahead and get into these guys. I'm going to just share the screen here. All right, here we go. We got a matchup predictor, guys, of 50%. No one knows who's going to win. They can't make up their minds. So, if we get into the passing leaders, obviously for the season, Patrick Mahomes, 5,250 yards, 41 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. Jalen Hurts, 3,701 yards, 22 touchdowns, 6 interceptions.
Huge difference, man. Touchdowns, that's a huge difference. It's double.
And he only missed 2 games. Wow.
I mean, yeah.
It's just different schemes.
Yeah, different.
Two totally different schemes.
That's true. 2 different schemes. But Mahomes, I mean, he does what he does, right? We've seen him week in and week out. He's going to throw that ball. He's going to do some sidearm stuff. He's going to make these magical plays, and that's just the reality of it. But 41 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. That's huge.
Damn,
that's huge. Rushing side, we have Pacheco with 830 yards, 5 touchdowns. Saunders with 1,269 yards, 11 touchdowns. AJ Brown, 1,496 yards. Receiving, 11 touchdowns. Travis Kelce, 1,338 yards, 12 touchdowns. Now, I really think that they may figure out a game plan in regards to Kelce. I really do. If they have not, it's going to be a long day for the Eagles. Because he's going to keep going back to that well. and use it. So Eagles are favored by 1.5. Over under is 50.5. Now here's what the interesting take. Points per game, 29.2 for Kansas City, 28 for Philadelphia. Points allowed is 20 for Kansas City and 7 for Philadelphia. Now, granted, different teams between the Bengals and the Giants. Shout out to someone who told me that Joe Burrow was the creme de la creme and he was this juggernaut. I'm not going to mention your name, but I'm speaking to you right now. I'm sure you're listening, and it was really unfortunate because
hint, hint.
Yeah, hint, hint. I should have never put them on the parlay, but we're gonna go ahead and move past that. So Chiefs last 5, obviously they beat the Bengals, Jaguars, Raiders, Broncos, and Seahawks. Eagles last 5, 49ers, which was a disaster.
Mm-hmm.
Looking at you, Jericho. It's okay,
It
man. I
was.
got you back. Got you back. The Giants again, Saints, and then the Cowboys. So
Both pretty. I think Chiefs have a bit of an edge as far as a stronger schedule. For sure, they got the Bengals in there, and the Eagles had an easier schedule those last 5, I think.
Especially when you think of like no Brock Purdy.
Yeah, I was gonna say minus the Niner game, but yeah,
and that was tough. It was really tough because I was hoping to see Brock Purdy come out there and at least give everything that he had and it'd be a show. Him getting injured,
early in the game.
Yeah, Josh Johnson was not ready at all.
Josh Johnson was like Mark Sanchez. He was eating a hot dog on the sideline. He was like, "Huh? You who? Me? Yeah, fool." Oh man, that was just trash. That was I say a healthy quarterback. Nobody's going to be fully healthy, but a healthy Niner team, healthy quarterback would have been a different outcome. I think they would have won. That obviously didn't happen. We'll never know. But damn, what a game it would have been.
Ronald says, "Tell it, Jay." I'm gonna tell it. Y'all should know it was Timo. Timo had bigged up those Bengals. Y'all know I don't hold back. He had bigged up those Bengals, and he had me so hype. And after they beat my Bills, I was like, "Oh, okay, they're gonna go to the Super Bowl. It's gonna be Bengals 49ers." Well, I was completely wrong. Completely wrong.
Curtis Brown says he was healthy when the game started. He got hurt in the first quarter.
He got hurt in the first drive. It was like play 4.
I mean, come on, man. He never even got started.
No.
The Niners would have. I think the Niners would have beat the Eagles. I really do. The Eagles.
No, Josh. Real quick though, back to that stat you just brought up earlier. I'm going by my memory right now. You said Patrick Mahomes had 42 touchdowns, I believe, and Jalen Hurts had 22, I believe, right? Something around
41 touchdowns.
41, 22.
22. Yeah.
And Travis Kelce had how many yards? Was it 1,400?
1,338 yards.
And Brown had how many yards?
1,496.
All right. So the reason I'm bringing this up is you said something earlier. What are they going to do about Travis Kelce? But to be honest with you, they don't have to do anything about him. They have the same amount of touchdowns, but yet Patrick Mahomes has double the touchdowns.
Yeah.
Think about it. So they both have the same amount. They're both best. Their top receivers both have the same amount of touchdowns, 11 and 12. But Patrick Mahomes has double the amount of touchdowns as Jalen Hurts threw. So therefore, yeah, you can double team. He has other weapons. My point.
Oh no,
so
yeah,
it's gonna be very difficult if they do double, because they'll double Travis Kelce as well. But Patrick Mahomes gets the ball to somebody else, obviously, because he threw an additional 30-something touchdowns to other players.
Yeah.
He still threw. Matter of fact, he threw more touchdowns to other players than Jalen Hurts threw to the whole team. Think about it.
That's true.
Yeah, that's going to be a tough nut to crack, man. KC is legit. Now, which Mahomes are we going to get? How bad is that ankle? I know they can shoot him up with all kinds of stuff, but the way he was limping in that AFC Championship game, whatever they gave him wore off because that shit was still hurting. So, which Mahomes are we going to get? Is he going to be ready to roll? It's 2 weeks off. So, I don't know. If you don't get 100% Mahomes, can he pull it out? Can he still win? Yeah, because he just got that schoolyard crazy, you're the bottle cap, you go around the car, he can just do it. But will it be enough in the Super Bowl? Because Philly's going to get 2 weeks off too. He's going to have 2 weeks to heal that shoulder, and they're going to have 2 weeks to just get healthy and stuff. So I don't know, man. I think it all depends on how Mahomes is going to be moving around, how that ankle's doing. Because eventually, I think Philly's good enough to figure out how to shut down Kelsey. Because if they're hurting him that bad, they'll do whatever they have to do to stop Kelsey. And it could happen. The Bengals showed it. They didn't get who they played before the Bengals. Whoever they played before the Bengals. It was the Bills when he got like 14 catches. What game did he have like 14 catches in?
No, it wasn't. It was Kelsey?
Yeah,
the Jaguars. That was the Jaguars.
Yeah, okay, the Jags.
Yeah.
They didn't get the memo. So if they have to, I'm sure that the Eagles will do whatever it takes to shut that down. But if Mahomes is ready to roll, if he's healed up, shot up, whatever, man, that's going to be a tough one for Philly.
Well, I did the poll. Out of 155 votes, 61% for the Eagles, 38% for the Chiefs. Everyone has been saying the Eagles, from the analysts, just from most general conversations. Obviously, the diehard Chiefs fans that stop through, they're always like Mahomes. It's majority Eagles. And it's very interesting because I think they're discrediting Pat Mahomes. I don't know why.
Man. Yeah, really, like they forgot.
Yeah, it's like they forgot, and it's this is still a man who has Super Bowl experience. He's got a ring under his belt. So MVP, right? Yeah. Jalen Hurts, this is his first show. So,
and if Chris Jones is willing to take a roughing a passer or whatever, or unsportsmanlike for taking Hurts down and landed on that shoulder, he'll do it. He'll do it early in the game. They'll eat that penalty. And if they get him hurt, well, that's it. Because somebody in here said, give the Eagles credit. Well, I think if the Eagles lost Jalen Hurts, the Niners would have waxed their ass too. So if Hurts goes down, Gardner Minshew, I don't think so. And I don't think Mahomes is going to go down. He just stays healthy. Other than that ankle, he's pretty healthy, man. So I don't know, man.
I think the reason why it's overwhelmingly landslide, or not overwhelmingly, but it's landslide Eagles right now, is because they have the most balanced team. They've got a great O-line. They've got a great defense. Obviously, Hurts is your X factor, right? If Hurts is playing the same kind of football he's been playing for most of the season, he's able to stay focused and not, getting over his head by being in the moment, not getting nervous. The Eagles may take it, but how many of the Eagles players is this their first Super Bowl?
Probably most of them, right?
Yeah, I would say
definitely. I think most of them, right? So yeah, there's not really too much Super Bowl experience. So there's going to be a lot of nerves. We're going to see a lot of flags, a lot of jumping. It's going to be interesting.
You have Fletcher Cox, and you have the other gentleman too. The other linebacker.
Sue.
Yes. You know what? Oh yeah, Sue. He got one with the Bucks. But I'd love to see a repeat of the Patriots Falcons Super Bowl, where the Eagles come out all hype. They get up on them. They get a few touchdowns. Oh man, we got this. Oh, Kevin Hart and all them start tweeting out all kinds of nonsense. And then Andy Reid, because he's another weapon. Andy Reid, he's been here before. Yeah. They go in there and make those halftime adjustments, man. It could end totally different. It could be just like that. The Eagles stall out. The Chiefs, they'll score 14 points before you can get back from getting your beer. So, man, it could turn out. It could start that way. Eagles hot. They're the team that got all this and that. But it's all about how you finish, man. And KC could make those adjustments and beat that ass.
And that's another big thing too. The Chiefs, I think people forget this. They have so many weapons. You've got Hardman, you've got Schuster, you've got Kelsey, you've got
what's his name? The running back.
Pacheco.
You've got Edwards Helaire. He's on IR. I'm not sure if he's going to come back, but he is on IR. But still, I mean, they've got all these different weapons that Mahomes can use. So yeah, I mean, you're right. If they are able to stop Kelsey, if they are able to double team him and basically contain him, then Mahomes is going to find somebody else, right? He's going to be able to go deep to Smith-Schuster, and now you're going to see 30, 40-yard bombs there. So I'm going to start off with my prediction.
Oh, let's go.
I know people have been waiting for it.
Dun dun dun.
I'm going to go KC by 3.
Oh.
I'm going Kansas City by 3. I think the hype is going to get too much for Hurts. I think he's going to get sacked back there a couple times. I think that the Chiefs will find a way to dismantle these Eagles in the Super Bowl. And Mahomes gets another ring.
Yeah. I think the football gods are definitely smiling on KC. I think they win it by 7. I think it's just that Mahomes magic. You know, we're going to see it. We're going to think they're down and out, and he just don't take a lot of whoopings. He doesn't, and I think the nerves are going to get to Jalen Hurts. Look at what the warm up field is going to look like. You're going to have everybody who's famous from Philly, Meek Mills, and all them are going to be down there. You're the man, and all this stuff. And I don't see him doing it, man. I think there's just something about them damn Chiefs. And I'm a Niner fan, so you know we got bad blood.
Yeah.
But that damn Mahomes, we're gonna see his brother acting up on TikTok after.
Yeah. Who's gonna make Mrs. Kelsey the more happier out of the sons? I think it's gonna be Travis.
Yeah, because she's gonna push that new baby out of the way. But let me see that ring. See that second ring.
Before we get into Coach and Franklin's predictions, I actually got a quick story. It's kind of funny because we had mentioned the Patriots and Falcons Super Bowl. The legend of Tom Brady is really interesting. I bet on the Patriots that Super Bowl. My brother was a Falcons fan. I'll never forget this story.
Man.
My brother was a Falcons fan. He's from down south, Dirty Birds, you know, all of his favorite rappers was at the stadium, 2 Chainz, Jeezy, all of them. So he was in his glory. Falcons go up. I'm sitting there quiet. I was sitting there quiet. I was like, Tom, what happened? He's yelling in my face. He's got the beer breath. I think a little spit hit my face. I was like, get away from me. Obviously, I'm sitting there in my chair, eating my popcorn, trying to relax. Tom Brady comes back like he normally does, wins the game. He went home drunk, an angry man, and I had the last laugh. So I think we may see the same thing in this game. I think we may see the Eagles go up, and then KC comes back for the win.
Well,
who's next? Coach or Frank? Which one was it?
Coach, go. I got the coach.
All right. So I think the biggest thing, what we talked about, I think the reason why people are leaning towards the Eagles, I think it's the more well-rounded, like you said, Jay Reason. I think it's the defense. I think the defense is a question mark for Kansas City, and I think they're going to have to take a little bit from what San Francisco 49ers were doing. If you've already forgotten it, that was a 14-7 game without a Brock Purdy, and it should have went to half at 14-7 if it wasn't for a fumble by Johnson. And the biggest thing that the 49ers were doing, they were giving exterior pressure to Hurts, but they were not extending it to where he couldn't release the pocket too much. They were really trying to keep him within that pocket and force him to make those throws within it. And I think that's going to be a key in this game for Kansas City, is not allowing him to get out of that pocket, get a little bit more clearer vision, and get more to his comfort zone. And I think if Kansas City can do that, there's not many times I feel like you should be able to bet on a Patrick Mahomes as an underdog in a Super Bowl. They are giving you a slight underdog with Patrick Mahomes, and I'm going to be taking it on Sunday night. I think I'm going to go the Chiefs by 4. I think Mahomes finds a way. And here's another thing. The Eagles have won a lot of games this year, and it's been because they have protected the football. They've won the turnover differential. It's going to come down to that in this Super Bowl. And will the nerves of some of these Eagles players come into play? And it's going to come down to who protects the ball the best. And I foresee maybe Jones getting a strip sack, something like that. And I'm hoping that A.J. Brown has an absolute terrible game.
Oh, man.
Shout out to you, bro. Let's go. All right, Franklin, next up.
Just last but not least, but going back to your whole thing about your story with Tom Brady. When he did that, I actually put a post out back then, and it said, "Winners find a way to win, and a loser will find a way to lose." And he's the winner. And the reason I bring this up is I give Patrick Mahomes the same kind of credit. He is going to find a way to win this game. He's going to play somehow. Shoot him up, whatever it is. He's going to find a way to win this game. I think KC is going to win by 17.
Wow.
Also, I got one more prediction.
Dang.
I got one more prediction. One more small prediction. A play prediction. I'm not saying I'm guaranteeing. I think I would do that same play they used on the Patriots when Nick Foles caught the touchdown. I guarantee they use the same play with
wow.
Line
And
him
watch
up.
him get blown up. Watch him just get blown up by a cornerback too. That'd be great.
I don't have an exact score, but 17 points, Casey.
That'd be great. Hey, you know what? Another thing. Wait a minute. I got to defend my Niners one more time. Somebody in there was saying how the Niners defense was number one, but the Eagles beat him. They held Jalen Hurts to 121 yards passing. That rushing touchdown he got, that was like on the 1 yard line. It's not like he was running all over the field on him, throwing all over the field. The Niners D did their job.
And they did that with the offense continuing to go 3 and outs back to back to back to back. Like you have to throw everything out from that game. That defense was the only thing they had.
Christian McCaffrey took snaps.
Yeah.
Bro.
Yeah, it was. Listen, you know what I really disliked when Brock Purdy came and took over for Jimmy G. I really disliked the fact that nobody gave this kid a chance. Everybody hated on him, and it's really sad because he went out there and he did his job as a rookie. I feel like everybody wanted to, just see him do bad, and they couldn't understand why he was playing so well. The man had an excellent college career. Go look back at the tape.
Yeah.
If you go look at the tape, you'll see why he came into the what was it, week 6, week 7? Was it week 6? Whichever week he came in at.
Close.
Yeah, whichever week he came in at, he excelled from the jump. He didn't have to be overcoached. They nervous when he went in there because they knew what to expect. Look at the sideline.
And it's
look at Kyle Shanahan. He wasn't nervous about putting him in there because they already knew what they had. And everyone wanted to discredit him. Everybody wrote off Brock Purdy. And I'm telling you this, if the kid didn't get injured, the 49ers would have won that game.
Yep, I agree. With the defense performing the way it did and Brock Purdy playing the way that he showed he played every single week, I do think the Niners would have won that game. That's why I don't really have a lot of respect for Philly. Because, they got a good record, but look what happened when that one player went down. The defense did this and defense did that. But when the Jalen Hurts went down for 2 weeks, they lost 2 weeks straight. So I don't think that's unreasonable to say that they're going to lose to the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. And if Jalen Hurts wasn't 100% playing against the Niners, he damn sure ain't going to be 100% playing against the Chiefs. And maybe Mahomes won't be either. But I think a quarterback would rather have an ankle injury than a throwing shoulder injury. So people are saying, well, the Eagles, normally the NFC East is the NFC least. The whole division's a collection of 4 trash cans. But this year they had 3 of the 4 teams in the playoffs. Well, what happened to them? Playoffs? What happened to those teams when they got in there? The Giants got smashed, the Cowboys got smashed, and the Redskins got smashed. Yeah, I said it. Redskins. They got smoked. So I just don't believe in the Eagles. I just don't. If they win the Super Bowl, I got to give them their props. But as crazy as that sounds, and no, it's not because I'm a Niner fan, I just don't believe in the Eagles, man. I think Pat Mahomes is going to prove to the world that Jalen Hurts just ain't ready.
Yeah, and to go back to Brock Purdy, it's not like even when he got the chance, it's not like he just played manager and had pedestrian stats. The guy went 1,374 yards, 13 touchdowns to 4 interceptions with a 65 quarterback rating. He went out and balled. And Eric Holmes in the chat brought up a good point as far as when he went down with an injury on play 6, you do got to give some the coaching staff. I love the 49ers coaching staff. I love Shanahan and all them. I study their offense because I just love all the shifts and motions. They did something terrible by having their backup tight end try to block Reddick alone. That
True.
was one of
Yeah.
the dumbest things I've ever seen, and they got their quarterback hurt. But when you think about the Eagles and the path that they had, it's strictly in this postseason or the past 5 games. They got the Giants, who great story to get in the postseason, but they're not ready to make any sort of push. And then they got a no quarterback 49ers team. They have not been tested for about 5 weeks or so, 5, 6, 7 weeks, whatever it is. The Chiefs have been tested every single week.
Standing ovation for Coach on that
Hey
one.
man, I don't know if you have any aspirations to run for office, and I don't know if I'm from California I can vote for you. But if you do, I might have to move it to Tennessee just to cast a vote.
Quick
That's what
shout
I'm
out
talking
to
about.
quick shout out to Jonas for the $5 super chat. Says Eagles has a 3-man running back system. I'm assuming you're saying. They ran the ball down on the 49ers defense. Eagles defense held that offense to 7 points. The offense was in shambles, Jonas. We know that.
Come
It
on,
was in
man.
shambles.
Our running back was taking shambles. Let Jalen Hurts go out. Let Gardner Minshew go out, and then put the next dude in. He gets hurt, and then let your running back go out there and take snaps. Then they be saying, "No, man, you didn't face Jalen Hurts in the Eagles." Please, your quarterback got hurt in play 6. Don't act like that didn't have anything to do with it. Don't act like that wasn't a serious situation. Man, please. That's all right. Y'all be holding your heads down and getting ready for the offseason, just like everybody else. And the Kansas City Chiefs will be off to their parade.
So, Jonas, we're going to have another conversation in regards to Dak Prescott. He almost pulled a Tom Brady.
Garbage.
Almost. He lost in the playoffs. He was hated on for majority of the season because of his play performance. They barely made it. And then his girlfriend broke up with him a week after he lost. It sounds like Tom Brady Jr. to me, man.
Loser.
Stop.
Dak Prescott sucks.
All right. No, this is what I feel like. I really feel like it's going to be a great game. It's going to be entertaining. It's the Super Bowl. We all have to realize that there's a lot of scrutiny in this game for multiple reasons. Everyone loves to say that the game is scripted. And there's been all these videos now that are coming out where like people are saying like actual players are in interviews saying how things are scripted.
Looking
Really weird. It's really weird.
Yeah.
But I watched some of these videos. I'm just like, really? Like, you're an ex-NFL player saying this?
And why now?
Yeah, why now?
Clout.
You're not saying it when you're getting the checks. You're saying it now to get the views and to push the narrative.
Where was your integrity then when nobody was caring about it? That's when you should have came out and said it. That's when you should have pulled a Jose Canseco.
True.
Shout out to Jonas coming back with another $5 super chat. He wants to get it in. Jericho's mad because his team made it to back-to-back NFC championships and lost. Wow.
Hey, I am mad about that. Of course, I wanted my team to go to the Super Bowl, and last year, damn, Jimmy G showed up and did Jimmy G stuff. But where were the Eagles? I don't think the 49ers were playing the Eagles in the NFC Championship game last year, were they? Nope. And the last time the Niners played the Eagles, we beat them in Philly, I believe. So, I mean, I'm not mad at that. I'm sure every team wants to make it to the AFC or the NFC Championship every year. We'll be back. We'll be back with a healthy quarterback, too. And then we'll see what happens with Jalen Hurts coming off of a Super Bowl loss.
Here's a question, Jericho. What do you think happens with Brock Purdy as far as with the quarterback position?
I think that he won't be quite 100% by the start of the season, whether he really isn't ready or they just want to kind of give him more time. I think Trey Lance will probably start the season because he's had a longer time to deal with his injury, especially by the time training camp rolls around. So I think Trey Lance will probably start the season, but it'll be Brock's once he's ready to go. Why not? Unless Trey Lance all of a sudden decides to stay healthy and ball out for once. Hey, that'd be great. If we're, doing 3-0 or whatever, whenever Brock comes back, then hey, maybe we'll stick with Trey for a while. But the baby-sized handful of games we've gotten from Trey Lance have not been good, and he's been hurt.
Jericho,
So
I got a question for you because it's kind of been going around the radio talk shows here in Nashville, Tennessee. Of course, we hired Ron Carthon as our general manager from the 49ers. He was in y'all's office, and of course, ever since they hired him, there's been small rumors about could a Titans trade for Trey Lance be in the works. What do you think about that? And if for some reason that did go down, because I do believe it should be Brock Purdy. I think you go with him for 3 years under a contract worth nothing, and I think he's proven it. I think he's the quarterback there. If that trade did go down, based off just the little bit of time you've got to see Trey Lance, could he pan out as a quarterback?
I think he'll pan out as a quarterback for a little while because going off of pretty much every other running quarterback in the past 10, 12 years, it ain't going to work too long. I don't think if he sticks with that, if he doesn't develop more of a staying in the pocket mentality, it just can't. The game's too violent. And once you leave that pocket, man, them dudes are salivating at a chance to hurt you. So, no, man, I don't think it'll last long. And if they got rid of him before the season started, man, I wouldn't shed any tears because I have nothing to be emotionally tied to. I have no reason to want to keep him around because every time he gets an opportunity, he gets hurt. What are you going to do with a Ferrari that keeps breaking down? Or you get to the shopping center, you got to put that damn thing on a tow truck. I'm cool, man. I wouldn't be mad. In a perfect world, that he's healthy enough to stay in there until Brock Purdy gets better. They have a good backup for Brock. Maybe hold on to Jimmy G in a distant land far, far away. Hey, hold on to Trey for a while. Even let Jimmy stay and get more healthy. That's cool. Let him stay off the field as long as he can get healthy. Put Brock in there when he's ready. And let's get back to that rematch with the Eagles.
We're gonna actually probably have one more guest on. Maybe give me one. Let me try to get him in here. While I'm doing that,
I'm just kidding. The Eagles aren't going back to the NFC Championship game. Just kidding.
Trying to get this link sent over to him. So another big thing that I don't think people are really bringing up is the fact that if Mahomes isn't able to get that ankle under control, how long do you think the cortisone shot's going to wear off him? How many quarters do you think he has to have a good game if that ankle isn't right?
Probably 1 or 2 because he was limping around, with a lot of time left in the game last week. So he might get a quarter or 2 out of it. And once there's, he's going to have to dig deep into that Mahomes magic bag if that ankle is giving him issues like that. But he won't have very long. He's going to do a lot of the game like he did last week. A lot of the game limping around, especially after the play. Man, that was looking, that was looking real painful, man. But if we're getting a 85% or more Mahomes, and that ankle is not being too much, it's a wrap.
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing is you hope the 2 weeks has been enough to kind of bring him back a little bit. I think that's the biggest hope.
Without a doubt. So I guess we'll address some of these chats. I don't want you guys to think that we're neglecting you guys. We're just in such a great conversation. DZ says Jericho thinks his poo team is going to be good next year.
Why would I not? They're going to keep the band together,
right? I think everybody, everybody wants their team to do great next year. Looking at you, Bills Mafia, where you at? I'm kind of aggravated. I'll be honest, for a couple of reasons. The biggest thing is I don't think Josh Allen really gave it his all this year. I don't think he played at the championship level that he needed to. Even with the elbow injury, he just did not execute properly and play the game that we've known that he could play. Ken Dorsey needs to be completely fired. No unemployment check, just broke out on the street. And because there's a couple of reasons why. When you look at the issues that they had as far as with the offense, and when they brought in Hines, they completely changed the whole chemistry. We were fine with Zach Moss. Now, yes, Hines is, I would say, a little better. Maybe a little. If it was like a scale from Zach Moss being a 7 out of 10, Hines would be a 7.2 out of 10. But yeah, there's a lot to digest there, a lot to talk about. I'm still aggravated and mad about that situation. Leslie Frazier,
Yes.
not making changes as far as
Preach.
with the defense, secondary getting torched. We were getting ran through every game past, what was it, week 5, week 6. So there's a lot to unpack there. It's really sad, but obviously the season's over. Chiefs and Eagles are in the Super Bowl. And with that said, I'm going Chiefs by 3. Any last words?
Just that the Eagles are garbage. Hey, like Bill Burr said, you got Joe Louis from your city, but you guys put up a statue of Rocky. Man, please. Chiefs, give them what they deserve. Chiefs by 7. Fly, Eagles fly into a garbage can.
I will be at the game. So actually, I'm leaving. I'm flying out tomorrow, Wednesday. So I will be at Consumption Park, which is the first.
Nice.
Yeah, which is the first, I guess, consumption park for the Super Bowl. So there's gonna be a lot of weed smoking. So catch my videos, and hopefully I catch a couple of the players out there and give them a couple shots real fast, little couple hits.
Shout out to you, Frank. Yeah, Franklin's actually going to be out to the show. Quick update. Special guest. Got my brother in the building. Perry down there at the bottom. Shout out to PD
Welcome,
in the building.
Man. Is this the Falcons fan?
No. This is
Okay.
the Bills fan. This is the Bills fan.
Mafia.
Yeah, Bills Mafia. Who do you got for the Super Bowl, P? Who do you got for Super Bowl?
Kansas City. I think they got the experience. I think Jalen lights will be too big for him. I think Casey's gonna do it. Mahomes defense. I see them boys balling.
Perfect. So there's another one. Like I said, there's a ton of people. I really feel like Mahomes is turning into Tom Brady at this point, right? With Tom Brady being gone, you're gonna have Mahomes as kind of like the pun intended chief of the AFC. With that said, he's gonna start getting that hate that Tom Brady got, right? What happens when you can't hate on Tom Brady anymore? Who do you go to? You go to the next winner. Pat Mahomes is a winner. I hate to say it because I would have loved to see Josh Allen be that person, but he hasn't stepped up and rose to the occasion yet. Now, people were saying that it was Pat Mahomes, Joe Burrow, and Josh Allen. Do we still have that narrative when it comes to AFC quarterbacks?
He maybe Trevor Lawrence might be nipping at his heels a little bit. I think if they can get Josh Allen get those interceptions under control, and like you said, the secondary, if they can make some key moves in the offseason, I don't see anybody standing in your way to get back to the postseason. But are they going to do that? And as a Niner fan in our history, I hate few things piss you off more as a fan than to see an obvious problem with your team and these high-paid individuals don't correct it, and you're screaming from your couch. So I hope that they make those adjustments because Josh Allen has the talent. He can do it. He can run. He can throw. He can do it. So does the administration make the right moves to put the right pieces around him and get those interceptions under control? But I think if you had to swap somebody out, it might be Allen for Trevor Lawrence for now.
Wow. That was like a stab to the heart, Jericho.
I mean, not in the heart.
Trevor Lawrence. You know what? You're right. You're right. It wasn't a stab to the heart. It was more to like the kidney. It was like, oh.
Okay, you can live without one of those. I'll take that.
Coach, what do you think? Where do you rank the top AFC quarterback?
Yeah, here's the thing. If you're a fan of the NFC, if you can just get a decent quarterback, you've got a shot because the AFC quarterbacks are just loaded. I still have Patrick Mahomes. It is very close. I think I have it's Josh Allen and Joe Burrow. I think Trevor Lawrence is on his way. I think Buffalo and Cincinnati's kind of in the same situation. Of course, Cincinnati was able to make it to the Super Bowl last year. Like, they got to figure out a way to protect Joe Burrow, or he's going to be the guy who has all this talent and it's never going to show because he's not going to make it 2 more years, because he's got to be like one of the most sacked quarterback. And that might not even be just a line, because they invested a whole lot to that line. It might be a lot more to do with the scheme and trying to push the ball down the field too long, and he's holding on to the ball too long, and he's taking those unnecessary hits. I think Joe Burrow is an incredible talent. I think Josh Allen is an incredible talent. I was rooting for Buffalo this year. They got to figure out a way just to make it happen. I was a little bit shocked too. If y'all can still hear me, the dogs are just fighting each other in the background. I was a little bit shocked to see how Buffalo played in the snow. I thought it would have worked out for them, but it didn't. But if you've got Josh Allen on your team, if you've got Joe Burrow on your team, if you got Patrick Mahomes, you're always going to have a chance to go to it. If you've got those guys at the quarterback position, you've got an opportunity. Trevor Lawrence is kind of coming along. I want to see him do it for about another year or so. I think he's got the right head coach there. That sucks for Titans fans, but they did a really good job hiring Peterson as their coach. AFC's got, and I still think the Chargers quarterback,
Justin Herbert.
Justin Herbert. I think he's loaded with talent. I don't know if they've got the right head coach there, but he can absolutely sling the ball. So AFC is just loaded with quarterback talent. It's tough to rank them because you're outside of Patrick Mahomes, who I think it has to be number 1 because he's won it and he's done it. I think you're just like 1B, 2B, 3B, with some of those dudes. So it's tough.
A conspiracy theorist might say that the NFL might have had a hand in that. Why is it so lopsided? Why is the AFC so loaded with quarterbacks and the NFC is not? I don't know. But if we could get a Justin Herbert to just come up the coast, oh man, unstoppable.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a disparity as far as the quality of talent when it comes to quarterbacks, and a lot of the old guys that were nice from the NFC, they're gone. So you're gonna start seeing a lot of the rookies step up, and a lot of the I want to say more so veteran, not older veterans, but newer veteran quarterbacks that are stepping into that role. So yeah, guys.
Think about Aaron Rodgers if he goes to the New York Jets. I mean, there's another AFC quarterback in the mix. I mean, that'd be just crazy.
I mean, Aaron Rodgers is such a diva. He really is. Oh, yeah. I think everyone can agree with that.
He's perfect for New York. He's perfect.
He's perfect for New York, right? He'll work right in that system. But no, I could see that definitely happening. The Jets do have a solid core. If they get the right quarterback in there, they could definitely be a problem. Miami as well, right? If Rodgers goes to Miami or the Jets, it's gonna probably be an issue because Aaron Rodgers needs a team that's already created. He has a very big problem with developing people, working with his rookies. So if he gets a squad that is actually ready to go, he might be dangerous. He might try to pull a Tom Brady, go to another team, take him to the show, and then maybe retire. But if he keeps complaining like he does and he keeps whining, then it'll just be a shroom show. So with that said, shout out to you guys for watching. Shout out to Big Bro coming through. Shout out to Jericho, Coach Plays, and the Franklin from the Franklin Crocker Show. Shout out to all those guys. Make sure you check out their channels. Make sure you subscribe to them. I want to thank you guys for being here. Obviously, next up for me is going to be NBA. If you have not already, make sure you guys subscribe. Click the bell to be notified of all future streams and content moving forward. Much love to the family. Much love to the Wrench Gang. And we will all see you guys. Take care.